This video is going to introduce you to the beginning settlement of the 13 original colonies. After this video, you should be able to list the reasons that the English settlers came to America. You will be reintroduced to the Pilgrims and retold that story, and you should be able to identify the three types of colonies. So let's go ahead and get started with the motives that brought the English to the New World. Now I'm specifying English because the English settled what is present day the United States. So we will be talking about their motives alone. Now, primarily money. Money is always going to be a factor in people settling new things or trying to find new things. Money. Next is land. Now, if you lived on the small island of England during this time and you were not wealthy, you did not own land. And as we know, to this time period, land equals money. And if you have money, you have power. That was very important to them. Next is political freedom. They were very much controlled by the king or queen and the parliament. So they wanted their political freedom. They wanted to have a say. Next is religious freedom. This is where we get into the Pilgrims coming to the New World for religious freedom. So let's talk about that one. Now, backing up just a little bit to the 1500s, King Henry VIII broke away from the Catholic Church and formed the Church of England. The Church of England is a Protestant church who still had traces of the Roman Catholic faith, but King Henry VIII really didn't care about it. He was an avid Catholic before he switched to the Church of England, and it was primarily just so that he could get a divorce and marry Anne Boleyn. Once he passed away and his son passed away, his daughter, Queen Mary, came into power, and she changed the religion of the country back to Roman Catholicism. Now, whenever she died, her sister came into power, Queen Elizabeth, who went back to the Church of England. So it constantly went back and forth, and over time it stayed a Protestant country. However, it was highly illegal to worship anything that they did not tell you to worship. So if you did not support the Church of England, then you were persecuted. To some people, the Church of England was bad, primarily to Puritans. Puritans were people who did want to break completely away from the Roman Catholic faith, and they wanted to purify the church, make it back pure, go back to the basics. The next group are the separatists. They did not believe that the Puritans would ever make this work. They didn't think that the church could be purified, so they just wanted to separate and break away completely from the church. Now, this group is where your Pilgrims are going to be. The Pilgrims felt this way. They felt like the church could not be purified. So this group of settlers, led by their pastor, John Robinson, knew that they had to go to a different country that would allow them to be faithful. So they moved to beautiful Holland. Now, Holland was a country at the time that did allow religious freedom. So that was great. Great news for the separatists, for the Pilgrims. But the problem was that their children were starting to learn the Dutch language over the English language and have low moral standards. So they couldn't allow that happen. So they heard about this successful colony called Jamestown that had been settled in the New World, and they wanted to experience this religious freedom. So the Pilgrims set sail on September 1690 on a ship called the Mayflower for the New World. They went with several other people, however, it was primarily Pilgrims. Now, they were planning on heading towards Virginia. They were going straight towards Jamestown to settle with them. However, a big storm hit and it turned the boat all around, and they actually ended up hundreds of miles away at Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts. So they realized that they had to come up with their own way of living. They had to colonize themselves and do everything themselves. So before the men could get off the boat, the Pilgrims decided that they were going to sign the Mayflower Compact. This is very important. The House of Burgesses was the first representative government in the New World. The Mayflower Compact is your first form of self-government in the New World. This is extremely, extremely important. Several other people came and settled the New World, settled the different colonies, and we're going to get more into that about them. But you are able to divide your colonies into 3 different areas. First, from Maryland down to Georgia, you have the Southern. From New York down to Pennsylvania and Rhode Island, those areas, you have, I'm sorry, not Rhode Island, Connecticut, you have the middle colonies. And then up north, New England. We will first start here, then move here, and then move here. And you will study each and every one of these colonies. Finish your whisk and have a great night.